Yo, what's going on, guys? It's the weekly scuffle. It's JJ and Ginger, and today we're gonna be talking about Jalen Green and his decision to join the new G League program in place and how it will affect him and all future prospects going forward. Honestly, to start this off, I'd like to point out that it's a new trailblazing like scenario just by the simple fact that just last season, a couple top prospects in the middle ball and RJ Hampton went overseas to play, and that really ended up pushing Adam Silver to make this new initiative, which in turn gives top high school prospects the ability to go to the G League, get development and coaching from NBA level coaches, and it also gives them, in the case of Jalen Green, they're gonna pay for his tuition if he ever decides to go to school, and they're also paying him 500K plus, and that for him, considering he was the number one prospect, is probably a lot more than other prospects. But we also got Isaiah Todd, who was committed to Michigan, and now he's also in this program, which is also based in Southern California. And now these two prospects, they will now have to deal with college, school life, and they'll just be training basketball 24/7. And yeah, how do you think this move is gonna affect them?
Like you said, it's a very interesting move by Adam Silver, the Jalen Green, and now Isaiah Todd. And they're gonna both be paid, I believe, a minimum of 500K and be trained by professionals. Now, the way this works is that they're gonna play about 10 games against G League teams and European teams, and they said NBA academies. So they're gonna spend the entire year training for next year. Now, this program we've never seen before it started, but we have seen players go overseas like LaMelo Ball, Jay Hampton, Emmanuel Mudiay, and Terrence Ferguson in some years past. But I think this provides a good alternative to players that don't want to go to college. They're just there because they have to wait a year, like Ben Simmons, for example. They just want to focus on basketball. And now it's a good way to to stop. I don't want to say I don't want to say like abuse, but like the way that colleges treat these kids, like by not paying them and not letting them make profit off their image. Adam Silver just another reason why he's the best GM in sports right now. He finds an alternative solution that I think will really will really help a bunch of future prospects. Now I wonder how many prospects are going to go there, and is it only top prospects for them?
Yeah, we're it's gonna be interesting because this is a new program that's never been done before. But I think one key aspect of this program is the fact that definitely the NCAA, the if you're a student athlete, the word student is in there. So of course, if you're a top ranked recruit, you still have to go to classes. You still have to keep your GPA up. And I think for like Jalen Green, for example, honestly, he has the potential to be a generational talent. A lot of Kobe comparisons for him, and honestly, I think now he gets to refine his body 1 year before going to the NBA. He gets to really learn the pro lifestyle because I believe they will be traveling, and also he gets to study the game, which I don't think a lot of colleges focus on because, like I said, they need time to study and do their classwork and homework. So yeah, I think now they get to study film, they get to study the game, and they get pro coaching. So it'll be easier for them to go to a NBA level team, and I think the scheme will fit better because a lot of the schemes in college, a lot of the times you see zone being used, and that's just because spacing isn't even that good in the college game. They still have the really long shot clock, which I'm not entirely sure how long it is, but I've never been a personal fan of the college game because it's so different from the NBA, and I usually just if I watch a college game, it's mainly because a top prospect is playing.
In college, they're referred to as student athletes, and most teachers like to say student comes first. But for these kids, like they really athlete comes first because they're gonna be, or at least try to be, professional athletes. Like they're in class to keep their grades at a minimum level, and for attendance, that's it. Like they don't really focus on their studies because they're not at the university for that. They're there to learn. They're there to evolve as a player and hopefully make the NBA. And now this program will give them a chance to do all that without having to go to classes if they choose not to, without studying maybe 40 hours a week, then going to practice another 4 days a week. These college kids are tired most of the time. Now they have a chance to focus solely on basketball and can really help their improvement for the future.
Yeah, definitely. Honestly, this move, one thing that I saw as like a direct statement to the NCAA that we're coming after you, was the fact that Jalen Green said it himself. The G League is actually paying for his education. So if he does decide to get an education later on, he has that ability. So he's just showing that they're just showing that the NCAA kind of is like coming to an end, and I don't think it'll ever truly die because there are always gonna be these like lower tier prospects that nobody really knows about, and for them it's good. You go to a college program, you could get your degree, or you could go, and I think the trend now will be seeing 2-year college players coming out, and then those 2-year college players will be like the new norm. Because once the one and done rule is like abolished, which that should be coming in the next few years, hopefully sooner rather than later, we'll just see like these top prospects. Like we could have seen a Jalen Green this year go straight to the draft, and that could have really been interesting to see. And for years to come, that's probably gonna be the norm of just top high school players ending up in the NBA.
My only question with this program is how would it work for lower recruits like 2 star, 1 star, maybe some 3 stars? Because the NBA can't make an entire like separate league from the G League now and get every prospect. So I know the top prospects will be taken care of, but I wonder how will those mid to low tier prospects be affected by all this?
Yeah, I feel like honestly those like lower tier prospects, I think that's where college will be beneficial to some players, but I think to the top players who are the ones that really do get like extorted by the NCAA, I think those players are going to be the ones that are like that this program like is most beneficial to. But the one question I do have is how will this affect players' draft stock? Like we're not entirely sure yet how many games they're gonna play, so we're not gonna be entirely sure how the scouts will actually be able to scout them and watch these players. And if it is an exhibition game or like academy teams, would the level competition, like would the scouts be unable to judge how like highly they rank these players, or how's that gonna work for them?
It's going to be very difficult because putting all these players on one team, like they're each a top recruit, and one's gonna have to stand out as the leader of the team, but the other ones, like, will scouts use their high school footage for it, or will they have to go on their conditioning and their strength because you can't have all players play every minute. So some are gonna showcase more talent than others. So will some lose some draft stock or others whoever be the alpha of the team gain? That's be a very difficult question to answer.
Yeah, that would be interesting with the draft stock, because like as an example, if like the top 5 recruits were to commit, like how would they each be able to showcase their talents, like unless they make an expansion, like because this team isn't necessarily an actual G League roster. So I guess if they make another version of this team, like is that how they're gonna do it? Are they gonna make multiple versions of this team and then they could play against each other? So we're just gonna have like top prospects playing against each other. I mean, it'll be very interesting to see how this is all like pan out.
Also, what if the prospects, like not all of them, but what if most of them are around the same position like that? If you have like, let's say in a couple years, the highest prospects ranked are all point guards. Like, will they all be on the same team? How will they share minutes? Like, are we're gonna have to put one on each team if they decide to create separate teams? Yeah, how would that work out?
Yeah, exactly. But with all this being said, honestly, I think it's a good program. It's a very good idea. pushed in by Adam Silver, and I think Isaiah Todd and Jalen Green are both like gonna be really good. Like they're kind of trailblazing the path for years to come, and it's kind of also a message to the NCAA saying that the one and done deal is gonna be over soon, and just the fact that these players are like showing that they're willing to not go to school. They're showing, even though it's not the route that most people take, they're showing they're willing to take it. And honestly, I think that's gonna is gonna be the new norm from now on.
As if the NCAA can change, maybe some of them will go back to college, but if not, they're all going to the G League for sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, that about wraps it up, and see you guys next time.